Morning once again, and welcome to Good Morning Anambra. This is discussion segment, and we have so many of them lined up this morning, but we're taking up with the first one, which is World Communication Day celebration. And we already have a guest in the house that will help us to justice to that. He is Mr. Jude Atupalazi, Editor-in-Chief, FIDES newspapers. You're welcome, Jude.
Thank you. Good morning.
Okay, and Dave is still here with me. Okay, communication, simply put, is the process of passing information or understanding from one person to another, or perhaps from one organization to another. And you'll be wondering, why is the church so much attached to this communication thing when it's supposed to be a secular celebration? As you very much know, that the World Communication Day is being powered by Vatican. Now that we have Jude here, let him take that question. Why is the church taking the lead in World Communication Day celebration, Jude?
Yeah, it's no surprise that the church is taking the lead because the church is supposed to lead by example, to show the way, to guide people, guide society, and preach all that is good. The World Communications Day, this is the 53rd edition of the World Communications Day. And the Catholic Church doesn't play with it because it knows the important place of communication in society, in the world. The church is concerned this time particularly about the negative use of the social media because it's been affecting society in a very bad manner. And this time the Pope's message, the Bishop's message, they are both saying the same thing, that we should care for one another through the use of the social media, and instead of using it as something that will divide us, misinform us, mislead us, and spoil things for society, we should use it to communicate better. And the post message says the theme is we are members one of another. That's the post message. We are members one of another. And the mission's message allied to that is being with to being for, harnessing the value of a caring presence.
Still on this, the theme of the event, we are members of one another. Can you provide a little bit of insight to why this topic or this theme is relevant to that emphasis of social media, the correct use of social media? The writer there says, from social network communities to the human community. What does this mean?
Yes, we are concerned about the loss of core values, which we are now seeing the way the social media is used. We are human beings, and human beings basically are supposed to care for one another, to show the humanity in us. So this message is trying to resurrect the humanity in us, so that we can begin to see ourselves again as members of a family, caring for one another, loving one another, and doing things that ennoble society. So because these things have been eroded by the use of the social media, the church has become concerned, very concerned.
Okay, by the way, before I forget, let me quickly congratulate FIDES family on your strides, because we know how it is economically to manage our newspaper outfit. But you don't relent in coming out every Sunday to inform our people on your ongoings. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. It's all down to the management.
On that, I also want to ask a question. Yeah. Several people will consider FIDES newspaper as a religious organization, which it is, at least it's owned by the church. But it seems your style of journalism have been able to get yourself lifted beyond that cocoon of religion. You cover politics, you cover other issues of life without, independently. Why is that drive for such editorial sense?
Yeah, thank you. The church is not insulated from society. We are part of society. It's just like saying that the church shouldn't delve into politics, because before now, that was the gospel people were preaching, that the church should stay aloof from politics. But when it was happening, you saw how things were moving, until the church stepped in and became more interested and urged the members to take more interest in politics. So when you are in the society, you don't stay aloof. You don't isolate yourself from society. You have to be part of it so that you can correct and lead by example. So we are not just a paper established by the church to report what the Pope says or what the Bishop says, but we also report what is going on around us and assess and analyze.
Okay. Know that you have planned, you have lined up activities to mark this year's World Communication Day, but we're going to listen to all that when we come back from this short break to listen to the people who talk to on the street.
Individualities of operators in the media, not just media organizations alone, but individual operators in the media, come with one thing unique. And when you appreciate that all those things unique form a whole world web, you understand, you begin to look for the strength. You look for the strength that my media organization has, or myself as a media operator has, and the strength that you have, what I get from it, what you get from me, and we use it to synergize, to form a whole, a formidable whole. Because like that proverb of the broom says, one strand of the broom anybody can break, but all strands of the broom nobody can break. So that is it.
We all want exclusives. That's what sells our newspapers. That's what makes our media organizations different. But in the course of doing that, it's always important that we relate with one another, because it's not how you understand things that I understand things. You can be in the same assignment and still report one thing in different ways, using different languages. But the most important thing, what you have to bear in mind, is that the main facts you give the public or the society, the main fact, what actually is the fact, so that you don't mislead.
Setting up a viable platform to discuss issues affecting the populace generally, and also to brainstorm on the issues also affecting media practitioners themselves. Again, possibly as in strengthening the existing institutions like
media or medium of personal information. They are very, very paramount in the society, because we think that without them, people will not be informed of what is going on in the society. Yeah, but there comes second aspect of it, whereby these information that are meant to pass or share to the people are not shared properly or the way they are supposed to be.
Good to have you back again. We're still here with Jude Atopolazi, Editor-in-Chief, FIDES Communication, FIDES Newspapers. Okay, now let's hear you. What are the activities lined up for this year's?
Before then, let me correct an impression, because I saw on the screen FIDES World Communications Day. It's not about FIDES, you know. We are not the people that are coming out with it. It's the Catholic Church. You know, so yearly, that's what happens. It so happens that FIDES Communication, being the media arm of the Catholic Church, is helping to promote that. So let me correct that impression. Okay. Then on Sunday, it will start with a Holy Mass at St. Patrick's Cathedral. The Mass is at 10 a.m. And usually all the media practitioners in the state are expected to be part of it, the Mass. So we come, we listen to the priest that will say the homily, dissect the messages from the Pope and from the Bishop. Then after that, we go over to the hall, where we're going to enter a Jojoing session. And it's significant that your MD is going to anchor to, this year's event. Yeah, so
Is it an open event?
It's an open event. It's an open event. All the media practitioners, all the media houses are usually expected to be part of it. So, in case
beyond media partners, are we seeing other people who are also stakeholders in the communication industry?
Sure, because all the stakeholders, all the practitioners are expected to be there to brainstorm on how to do this job better and how to realize what is expected of us as media practitioners.
Okay, personally to you, what are you expecting to take away from that event on Sunday?
Yeah, a better appreciation of what is required of us as media people, because we often lose sight of that, and that is why a lot of things are going wrong, because people are no more in tune with what is expected of them. So when you come there, all these things will be laid on the table and discussed, and it's going to be an interactive session. It's not a master-servant or teacher-student relationship. So everybody is going to brainstorm on that and seek ways of making this job, our roles, better appreciated by the public and by everybody.
Okay. And then going by the theme of this year's celebration, we are members, one of another, from social network to the human community as chosen by Pope Francis. Now, considering the division that exists among Christians these days, you belong to this church, I belong to that one, and all the rest of that. Do you see this theme bringing a kind of synergy among Christians?
Sure. It's very apt. And, the church is also championing this issue of the churches coming together, to break up that division. On our part, as a media outfit, we have a column for the Anglicans, a whole page devoted to them so that they can also, through us, reach out to society. And people will also appreciate what they are doing. So on our part, you see that we are already preaching ecumenism. So the theme will also help people to know that it's only one God up there and nobody else. So it's just like people going to Onitsha. You can decide to go to Onitsha through this route, or the other guy goes there through the other route. So we are going to one destination. So it doesn't warrant people to bicker.
But I take that as your last statement to our people, that we are one people and we should remain so. Thank you very much, Mr. Jude Atupulazi, Editor-in-Chief, FIDES Newspapers, for joining us this morning.
It's been my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. And I've been around with Dave, and in a very short while, we'll bring you another segment of the program.